Yes, sir.
Blankenship. My name's Larry Brown. I live at Fairdale. I worked for Massey/Alpha for 24 years. I'm the last person alive that firebossed the longwall at UBB. I was the hoot-out foreman at UBB. She said we had gas 2 months. No, we did not. No, we did not. No, we did not. MSHA changed our air. I had 124,000 cubic feet across the longwall before the explosion. When MSHA refused to give us our ventilation plan, it was 76 after that. MSHA will tell you it's your plan. No, it's not our plan because they won't sign off on it until we agree to their standards. Mr. Blankenship, from the time I worked, pushed safety at UBB. He pushed safety at Elk Run. He pushed safety at Mar Fork. Safety, many of the things that we go through today, the laws that are laws on the book today are laws on the book because of stuff that man put on the book. All the fake news and stuff that you all heard, I was there. I spent 18 months through the investigation. I worked the morgue when they brought the guys out. I identified 11 men that they brought out of that coal mines. It was not Mr. Blankenship's fault. It was not my fault. It was not gas in that mines 2 months prior to the explosion. It was not. Rarely did we ever pick up. But Mr. Blankenship, you made mention of it. 2 different times we gassed that mines off. 2 different times. I worked there from '95 until the investigation was done. MSHA does not speak about that. They don't tell that. I asked the inspector the night that we gassed off, I said, in my bossing classes, they teach you that methane is a tasteless, odorless gas. True. There was a smell each time that we gassed off. And I said, what's that smell? Federal inspector that was there with me that night said, that's your ethane, that's your butane, that's your propane. UBB was inundated with a gas that came from the bottom. I set jacks around that crack to preserve it for the investigation that proved nothing. Proved nothing. We spent 18 months in that mines and we are no more educated than what we were before. But I'm educated to know that this man, myself, when we took men underground with pride that we were going to bring them out safely. Safely. This hogwash that you all hear about, all the things it's not true. It's not true. I'm the last man that firebossed the longwall at UBB. I finished my shift, handed it over to the foreman that passed away that day. He was like Chad Neal said on the video, he was an excellent foreman. Those men were excellent men. They were excellent coal miners. Something happened that they couldn't control. Had we had the 120,000 cubic feet of air that we had before, it may have controlled it. But MSHA would not turn it over.
Would MSHA make you cut your hair?
They had a plan that came out of Pennsylvania that they were insisting that we ran, that we insisted. They wouldn't, and they still won't.
Let me explain it to you, because you will see in this answer, I'm not anti-MSHA. I just think that these guys made a horrible mistake. But what happened is we had a fire at Aracoma, and the belt was what caught on fire, and 2 men perished in Logan County. And MSHA went to Congress and got the power to prevent you from using belt air. Their theory was, which was flawed, our engineers told them it was flawed, and everybody told them it was flawed, including the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, that you, in old mines, 15, 20 years old, designed to use belt air, you had to keep your belt air. But they took the position, because of what he's saying, they were Pennsylvania miners, that we didn't need belt air. And we only had 2 ways to get air in the mine. One was a neutral or intake air entry, and one was the belt entry. When they took the belt air away from us, it cut the air in half. And that's the reason that the mine exploded. Now, why did the guys that were in charge of MSHA at the time think that was okay? Because in Pennsylvania, the mines are extremely gassy. Not natural gas gassy, but gassy from coal bed methane. And what they do is they capture the gas, take it out of the mine, and sell it. So they don't use the same ventilation system, but since most of those guys were Pennsylvania coal miners, they thought it was okay not to bleed the gob. And we didn't have enough air pressure on the gob to bleed the gob. And I suspect that in addition to the massive inundation of gas that occurred instantly, that the flame from that amount of gas set the gob off because it was full of gas that had accumulated, because when they took the air away, we didn't have any pressure on the gob. Would you agree with some of that? Oh yeah. Well, we had two inundations and nothing happened because we had 120, 130,000. But keep this in mind. Some of you like IMSHA, some of you like union, some like non-union, some like red, some don't. As I said earlier, we don't have a lot of difference. We're all in this thing together many times. But a guy who worked 35 years at the Mine Safety and Health Administration and was the ventilation specialist, who was in charge of the ventilation for IMSHA at UBB for the 17 years it was there, always wanted more air. When he left IMSHA, I hired him because I knew he had a good relationship with IMSHA, and I thought that we could get along better with IMSHA if we had somebody that knew him. But the new guy that came in, again, Pennsylvania backgrounds, took the air away with him begging him not to. He got on the stand in my trial and broke down in tears because he begged him. But when the explosion occurred, he went to Beckley office or Mount Hope office to get the things that you saw in these emails, the proof that we'd had these prior iterations, and was told by the secretary that IMSHA carried them out in trash bags and destroyed them. They destroyed all the evidence of the prior inundations out of the Beckley office. And there's another email that says they, quote, had a shredding party. But again, I don't think they intended to blow the mine up. I think their Pennsylvania background and the fear of what happened at Aracoma happening again drove them to a decision that was ill-advised. And even though our guys begged them not to do it, they couldn't stop them.